dishwashing uniform for Barron's lab. As you notice, he has black slacks, black non-stick covered shoes, an apron, a white Hilton chef coat. It doesn't have to be Hilton, but represents the school. Go Cougs. He has his name tag, a thermometer, and his hat. He also has rubber gloves. Hey everyone, this is Team Awesome Friday. We're going to show you how to demonstrate the position of being the dishwasher for service. So first of all, we're going to demonstrate how to properly set up the 3-compartment sink. So first of all, we wash dishes from right to left. So this is the soapy water compartment, and then we have our rinse water, and then we have our sanitation. So we're going to, first step is to make sure that the drain is stopped so that the water actually stays in the sink. And then we turn on this little knob, and the soap solution, which is right here, automatically mixes with hot water, so we don't have to do anything, which is really nice. So then we proceed to the next compartment, which is our rinse sink. We do the same thing, make sure that the drain is stopped, and then we use hot water. It's important that the water for the rinse and for both the soap water and the rinse water are as hot as you can stand, because the warm temperature for the hot, for the washing for the first compartment helps the soap come off the dishes. It helps the soap work and get the fat off the dirty dishes. And then it's equally important that the rinse water is as hot as you can stand it, so that if there's any residual fat or oils from the first compartment, that they are clean, the dishes are clean, and it can take off any residual anything on the pan. Now our third compartment is our sanitation solution, and it's this red stuff. And then just like the soap, we turn the little knob, and it automatically mixes with water. The sanitation liquid needs to be 200 parts per million, which we'll test later once we have it filled up. But it also needs to be about 75 degrees Fahrenheit. That's where it's most effective. So this water is really hot, so we'll add just a little bit of cold water to get it as close to 75 degrees as possible. So notice that our sink is properly set up now. All of the water is to the water line. You want to make sure that you have enough liquid in each of the compartments so that there's enough liquid to properly wash and sanitize the dishes. So we'll do a test strip. So this is the testers. It's the QR test strips. So these are the proper ones that you use for this type of sanitation solution. So we just dip it in the sanitation for about 10 to 15 seconds. And then you take it out. I just did it again. So if you notice, it's a dark green color, which means it's 200 parts per million. So we have the proper sanitation solution of our sanitation water. So we are following health code, and our dishes will be nice and clean and ready for our guests. The soapy water is clear and free of grease floating on top or excessive food particles. Same with the rinse water. And the rinse water, it's also important to make sure that the rinse water not only does not have food particles in it, but it also does not have an excessive amount of soap suds. We're going to demonstrate how to properly wash dishes through the 3-compartment sink. So here's a sharp object. So we're going to put it in our sharp object container, which has warm soapy water in it, so that the food doesn't dry onto the utensils and make it hard to clean later. So here's our dirty pan, and it has some used mashed potatoes and stuff. So we're going to, first of all, we're going to use the sprayer to take off the large chunks of food into the disposal, so it doesn't make our cleaning solution very dirty. So I've used the sprayer, and if you notice, I've gotten almost all of the food particles off of the pan. So I'm going to take a scrubby from the scrubby bucket and wash it in the warm soapy water. And now that there's no more food on the pan, I'm going to send it through the rinse compartment to get rid of all of the soap. Now that there's no more soap bubbles, I'm going to send it through the sanitation solution and then set it on the side to let it air dry properly. And then it'll be ready for service. So as you notice, he's rinsing out the disposal compartment and getting all of the food particles into the disposal basin. And then he secures the sprayer so that it doesn't get caught in the disposal. Then he is going to take a sheet pan and cover the disposal so that the food particles and gross water doesn't get everywhere. And then you take the safety off and then push the button. Ready? You can push the red stop button, which will turn off the disposal. I'm going to remove the sheet pan. That's it. At the end, once all of your dishes are clean, you're going to unclog the drain, which is just turning it the opposite way we did before, and it will drain. And then we will come back and show you how to properly clean out the sink and make sure it is ready for the next day. So once the water has drained from the sink, there's a little bit of foam residue, so we're going to just turn on the water and wash it down the drain. And then there's also, if you notice, little bits of food, so we need to make sure that we clean that out of the drain so that the sink is clean. And also, if you notice, there's a little bit of a scuzzy mark, ring all the way around from where the dishwater was. You need to take a clean towel and wipe it down. See, look how gross it is. That was on our dishes. So we need to make sure that we get it off so that the sink is clean. So then I'm going to take the food particles out and put them down the disposal. And then I'm going to take this drain and dump it in the trash can. And then rinse any residual food off with the disposal. If you notice, there is a bunch of food underneath the grill, so I'm going to just clean it out. Now that the sink is clean, I'm going to put the screen back on so that it is ready for the next state. And that is how you properly clean the 3-compartment sink.
So the first thing you do when you get to your dishwasher station is you want to check your sanitation. So we lift the lid, make sure it's exactly at the fill line, which is good. And then right here is our detergent, the soap. And you just want to make sure it's filled, and when it is, we'll be ready to start the dishwasher. Second, we want to test our water level. So Sarah's gonna put the strip in, testing the residual water. Okay, and we want to make sure it's right at the 50. Okay, so when it matches the 50, that means your water is safe and you're good to go. So right here we have our soapy water where the silverware goes. And we want to make sure that it's soaking in there, so it makes it a lot easier when it goes through the wash. You get it from that compartment right there. So it just soaks in, and it goes in. And then we have a rack. We have a rack right here. We have a rack right here for where your dishes go. You want to make sure that they're neatly stacked in, because if they're cluttered and all messy, then they won't get cleaned properly. And also, you want to make sure that you scrape all the food remaining on your plate before you put it in the rack. So he's scraping off all the food. And if you have some crumbs, that's fine. So then he goes ahead and places it in the rack where it belongs. Okay? And then you go ahead, and when it's ready, you just slide it through. The server will then put it up and give it to the dishwasher when glasses are completely full. And Sarah will go ahead and show you how the dishwasher works. You just slide it through, and then when you close it, it automatically glass racks go right here. And when you're placing the glasses in, you want to make sure the mouthpiece is facing down. So you just wait for a couple minutes while it's washing. There's a timer on there, so. All right, now the glasses are done, so she goes ahead and opens it. Careful, it's a little warm. And we just let the glasses sit right there.
So once the dishes are done washing, you take the rack of dishes out of the Notice that they're hot and steamy and nice and clean. And once they're done, then we take them out of the rack and stack them on the shelf until they're dry. Once they're dry, we take the dishes from the shelf and put them back on the hot and cold line where they belong.
Did you get 2 better snacks? There's 6 more front. Oh, yeah, there's snacks up there.